In this next video, I'm going to go through the steps you need to know to use the Fieldpapers website. So first off, you want to create an account on this website the exact same way as you would for OpenStreetMap or any other website. Once you've created that account, simply log in. So I have my login details here. And it brings you back to this page again, except now your username is showing up here. So first off, you want to make yourself an atlas. So once you come to the Make an Atlas page, you simply type in a location. And click Start there. And you'll see the next page, it's zoomed in on that location. But what you'll find is that it's zoomed out way too far, so you need to make adjustments. So before you start making any adjustments, one thing to note, you can press the plus sign here to zoom in, but if you press the minus sign, there's a bug in Fieldpapers where it will zoom you out, but you will end up looking at somewhere in North Africa. I think it's Libya or Egypt. So just make sure when you're zooming in that you're zooming into the exact location, because if you hit this, you'll have to more or less start all over again from the start. So as we're zooming in, you can see these pages are still way too large, contain way too much information. So what you can do is you can resize them. So for now I'm going to remove one page by pressing the minus sign. So I'm just down to one page, so it's easier to work with. And I'm going to resize it by dragging this corner. So I can drag this up and it shrinks it down. And then if I click on the other corner, I can move it around. So I have that more or less in the center of Maffateng, and I'm going to press my plus sign now to zoom in. And as I zoom in, you can see this one page still covers a huge area. So if you were on foot trying to survey this area, you'd be going up and down this street, this one up here. So it's far too much, it covers far too large of an area and too many features to be useful. So what you can do is you can resize, as I showed you a moment ago. You can drag this corner in, and then you can press your plus sign to create more pages. But before you do that, you want to make sure that you're fully zoomed in. So click your plus sign until it won't let you click it any further. So I'm just going to remove these extra pages first. Shrink that back down and simply zoom in again. So that's as far as I can zoom in. So now I can look at creating my sheets. So if I created sheets like this, I would simply have too many sheets for too small of an area. So for example, in this one, I've only got 3 buildings, a tiny piece of roads, so it's too small of an area. And in this one, I have a football pitch or stadium covering 4 sheets. So what I want to do is I want to reduce the amount of sheets and just resize them a little bit, so that I get an average of about maybe 8 to 10 buildings or so on each sheet, and that it doesn't look like I have to travel. So now that I've this resized, you can see I've really only one street to walk up here, and I'll capture a few buildings. I have one road to capture up, or one road to travel up through here, and same here. I'll capture these ones and these ones on this side. So this is a very easy area and quantity of buildings to survey. So you could realistically get something like this sheet done here in 5 or 10, max maybe 15 minutes. Okay. So another thing that you can also do is you can select different background layers. So for example, this one is satellite and labels. So you can see the roads showing up and some of the labels that are placed on various objects showing up there. Or you can put just a plain black and white layer, in which case the buildings are there but they're actually very difficult to see. But this layer is handy if you want to write a load of additional handwritten notes onto the maps themselves. And then you have a humanitarian layer which comes from Hot OSM, so they just have slightly different styling. But for this one I'm going to stick with the OpenStreetMap layer, and I'm just simply going to click next, and I'm going to call this Mafeteng survey number 2, and you can add any text you want in here. So this will appear on every page except the front page, and it's simply a guide, or you can use it as a guide to help people when they're out using these sheets. So for example, you can put something like or equals residential. So if they write or on a building, that means that's a residential building. If they write S, it means it's a shop. For roads, you can have in terms of the road surface, so you can have, say, surface, so ST, so surface is tarmac, or SD, surface is dirt, you know, and so on. So you can work out your own coding, what works best for you, what works best for the people doing the surveying. So once you have that completed, you simply click next, and you're next brought to this page here where you have to decide your layout. So you can have your maps and notes on 2 separate pages, or your maps and notes all on 1 page. So your map would appear on the top half and your notes would be on the bottom half. It's often easier if you select this one, simply because if you have 6 or 7 or 8 map sheets, then it can be very difficult to keep the note sheet paired with the map sheet, whereas in this case your notes and your map are all together, so it makes it much easier to keep things together and organized. So once you've decided on your layout, you simply click finished, and it'll just take a minute or so usually for the atlas to be generated. And this is another reason why you want to have created your own account. Once you create your atlas, it'll show up under your account here. So if I open this in a separate window here, you will see various different atlases that I've created all show up under my account. Okay, so if I return back to the original, this is almost completed now. Once it completes, you're brought through to this page here. So you'll see it gives you like a very far zoomed out view of the area, and then this is your zoomed in view. So here's the title that I put in earlier, Mafeteng survey number 2. There's 5 pages in the pack, so you have A1, A2, B1 and B2. They're the 4 survey pages, but then you have this page is your front page. So this is useful in terms of getting your bearings and your orientation. So once that's finished, you have the option to export the data as GeoJSON, CSV or shapefile. You can also go in and edit the area with ID or Potlatch. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to download the PDF. So if I right click and save link as, or depending on your browser it might say save target as, and I'm going to name this as Mafeteng survey number 2, and I'm going to just save it into this folder here. Once I save it in, you'll see it shows up here. So when I open up this file then, you'll see page 1 is the overview, and then the next page is A1, so you'll see up the top here, you'll see A1. On the next page you'll see A2, so up in the top right. So that corresponds to these pages here, A1 and A2. So then you simply print this out and go out and do your survey. Once you've completed your survey, you take photographs of your sheet. So how you will typically do that is you lay your sheet on a flat surface. You'll hold your phone above the sheet of paper, trying to capture all of the sheet of paper, and you want to make sure your phone is as level as the sheet of paper so that your sheet isn't photographed at an angle. Once you take your photograph, you come back to the Fieldpapers website and you click here, you want to upload. So once you click upload, it asks you to choose the file. So you'd simply click choose file, and wherever you've stored the photo, so for example I have some photos here of field papers, so I have it uploaded already. So what I'm going to do is come through to here, and it will show me where my uploaded sheet is. So this is just from another survey, but you can see here are my uploaded sheets. So I'm going to take this one as an example, and inside in JOSM, what you have, you need to install a Field Papers plugin. So how you do that is you go to Edit, Preferences, go to your plugins down here, and just very quickly type in field and you'll get Field Papers. So tick that box and tick Update Plugins. Once you do, it'll ask you to restart JOSM. Once you restart JOSM, you go click here Field Papers Scanned Map, and a little box will open up, and what you do is you come back to where you've uploaded your page. So for example this one here, I'm just going to right click and select copy link address. So I've saved that into my clipboard. I go back to JOSM, and in here I'll just hold down Control and press V for Victor, and it will paste the link in there, and then I simply click OK. And after a few moments you'll see the page loading up inside JOSM, and the next thing you can do is just download the area that covers, and you will see now how this all lines up. So we have the road data here, and we have another piece of road data here, but we can see the person who's completed this survey has drawn a line up here to show that this road actually comes up and joins up here. So we can continue that road up. Up to there. We have another road over here which continues on. So what I can do is I can turn on my imagery as well. So I have my Bing imagery, and I can see in my Bing imagery that yes, there is a road here, it just wasn't finished out. So I'll just let that load, and then I can press A and just add the remainder of this road. Okay. Now what you can also do is you can adjust the visibility of your layer. So for my Bing imagery, I'm going to move that down so that my sheet is the dominant layer, but I'm going to change that. Actually, I'm going to put the Bing imagery above it, and I'm going to change the visibility on my Bing imagery. So I click this button here, and I just drag this slider. So you'll see I can change the transparency of the Bing imagery. So if I leave it more or less like that, I can zoom in here and I can see where there are buildings, where there's building data, and on the sheet underneath I can see there's the letter R and R. So I can click here, click this one, wherever I can see a handwritten R under a building. And what I can do is I can come over here, edit, and type in house if it says building equals yes. Okay. So that's how you use Field Papers, how you upload it. how you create an atlas and how you use it inside your editors. If you wanted, you can also open your sheet in a separate window, like I'm doing here, and I can say I want to edit in ID. So if I click here, this will then open ID, and this sheet will be showing us a background layer in ID. So again, this will just take a moment to load. But you'll see it'll look more or less the exact same as how it looks here inside of JOSM. Here's my sheet down here. So there you go. So again, you can use it in the exact same manner. So you can see the sheet loading there. Okay, so that's how you use JOSM, or that's how you use field papers, and how you use it within ID, or how you use it within JOSM. Okay, thank you.